Does faith make sense every time to you? Sometimes it might not make sense to you, humanly speaking. When the Lord is asking you to do something that doesn't just seem to make sense in the natural human thinking, it might not make sense. But isn't faith all about obedience to God despite any odds? Faith might not make sense to you, humanly speaking. Sometimes it might seem as though you are wasting your time. Sometimes it might seem like foolishness when you hear some instructions. But the fact that you obey God, you trust God regardless of how it seems, regardless of the situation at hand, regardless of what people perceive of that action of faith, is that you trust God against all odds, and you are sure that God is in full control of your life, and that his thoughts towards you is that of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Faith is an assurance in the abilities of God. So sometimes it might not humanly make sense, because how would Abraham have felt? Abraham literally spent his whole life in his father's house, and all of a sudden God is saying, leave everything you have known, leave the pattern of life that you have known, leave the way of life you have become accustomed to, and move to a land that I will show you. It wasn't even as though there was a destination in mind, but God was saying move, and Abraham obeyed. Can you obey God against all odds? Is faith a risk? Faith is not a risk. A risk is a chance of doing something that might have a negative effect at the end. But faith is full assurance in the abilities of God, knowing whom you have believed in, knowing that God's plans towards you is to give you a life that is fulfilling, a life that is prosperous, a life that has everything good that life has to offer. Faith is not a risk. So a lot of times people say, I would trust God to do this, and if God doesn't do this, I already have an option B. They might not even vocally say it, but a lot of times when people say they truly have faith, they really do not have faith, because at the back of their mind, they're already saying, they are already thinking of what to do if it doesn't work. Faith is not saying I would trust God, and then if it doesn't work out, I am going to look for something else to do. No, faith is completely trusting God, putting all your eggs in one basket. It's not a logical thing where you say, okay, if it doesn't work out, I'm going to do this. Faith is not a risk. Faith is total assurance and trust in God. There's this illustration I like painting. When I was a lot younger, I trusted my father so much. I would tell my friends when we were playing, my father can carry a house. That was blindly trusting my father, because I felt he was the most powerful man in the world. But growing up, I saw how childish that must have been. But sometimes you must have that childlike faith to know that God is capable of doing anything. What's your consciousness when it comes to faith? A lot of times you supposedly are trusting God for something, but you really know that you are not truly trusting, because at the back of your mind, you're already having an option B in case it doesn't work. You're already believing that it will not work. Your environment, you're conditioning your environment already to believe that this thing cannot work out. Faith is completely trusting God. The Bible says, even if you have faith like a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move, and it shall be moved. The reason why that thing is still not working, that situation is still not changing, is because you have not totally learned to trust God completely and hand over the reins of your life to God. Today I encourage you, learn to trust God wholeheartedly. Put all your eggs in one basket. Put your life in the hands of God, trusting that he that has started a good work will complete it. What is that thing you are trusting God for? What is that situation that has refused to turn around? Listen, God is saying to you, trust in me, believe. Even if you have faith like a mustard seed, you will say to that situation, move, and it shall change forever. Trust God today and see how he completely turned your life around. Please leave a comment if this video has been of any help to you. Do not forget to subscribe to this page to get more videos like this. Also, do not forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every time a new video is posted. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.